Good morning from Scott Family Homestead. I'm Christine and I'm going to talk about chicken plans today. So we've got lots of chickens. When we moved here a few months ago we had 50. We've lost one of our older hens to old age. We have started a new family with chickens. My sister-in-law now has 4 of our chickens over at her place and they are getting fresh eggs and loving it. And so today I wanted to tell you a little bit about our flock. I've got my helper, Miss Savannah, with me today, riding on back. Okay, so we have 45 laying hens. And the laying hens that we have, I've kind of accumulated over many years and bred them to have a really colorful egg palette. And so I love the blues and the greens, all the shades of browns. And so I have kind of made this laying flock our colorful egg layers. We had a rooster who was an Americana, which has the blue egg laying gene. Since we hatched out our own chickens, we ended up with a lot of brown egg layers plus the blue that made some really cool green eggs. So we've got a lot of green eggs, a few brown ones. So we've got a really, really beautiful flock here. These are the eggs that we generally sell and use for our own uses. This is the chicken coop that our property came with and has these really cool round nest boxes. It has a roost board that we can scoop off, which I've never had before. I've heard of them before and it's actually very handy. Underneath it, they've got these 2 brooding spots or isolation spots, and they have doors that you can slide in there too. So we've got 2 isolation areas. We've got enough roosting space for all 45 of our chickens, plus more, and enough nesting boxes for probably 100 or more chickens. Out in the morning, and they go all over the place. We're working on fencing in our gardens so they can't get into too much stuff. Wilder. Wilder is a little mini Aussie doodle, and he loves to herd the chickens. So we are working on training him to only herd chickens out of areas they're not supposed to be in and to leave them alone when they're in places that are just fine. So this is our coop. We've got wire on all of our windows. This was like an old run, which is not working anymore because it's got holes in it and the chickens can just come right out. But we'll probably put in a permanent run at some point in time. We do have several roosters that we have hatched out here on the farm. We got this beautiful guy. Most of our chickens don't have names just because we have a lot of them and it's hard to name them. So unless the kids pick up on one and name it something special, they usually don't have any names. This is Barn Chicken. She came with the place. She's our resident chicken. She does not lay eggs, but she's a nice little addition around here. Hey girlie. Hi. Okay, while 45 chickens seems like a lot, that's actually just getting started. We also have a couple other flocks of chickens that are running in our tractors right now. So I will link the video that has the tractor building plans. They're really useful if you're going to do meat birds or anything like that. I'm going to head over to the chicken tractors and show you what we've got going on there and what our plans are for this year. We started raising Cornish cross chickens our very first year. We actually got Cornish cross chickens before we started with laying hens. And they just make an excellent meat bird. They're done within 8 weeks. They are very meaty. We part out a lot of them. And so we've got about 40 here in this tractor. Most of these birds are accounted for and being sold to a family member. They're growing really nicely and they should be done in just a couple weeks. So once these guys are processed, that'll make room for us to split up this tractor into both of them, and these are some dual purpose chickens and we are using them to replace our meat birds. They're going to be a smaller roaster and they take 20 weeks to grow out. Our plan with these guys is to keep about 25 hens and a couple of roosters and then hatch a new batch of these out next year and use those as our meat birds instead of continuing to buy the Cornish cross, because you can't really breed those yourselves at home, or at least we haven't found a way to successfully keep them alive much past 10 to 12 weeks. You see some different colors in here. We do have a couple of egg layers in there that we are just raising with these guys for now, but they will be separated out into our other flock. We've got some Morans in there, which lay really deep dark brown eggs. So the black ones will be kept separate from our laying flock so that we can breed them for that large-bodied dual purpose. Now the hens that we keep over the winter from these should lay brown eggs, and we will use those for our own purposes and then, like I said, for hatching. These chickens are all being raised on pasture, and they get moved every day, and they kind of follow behind where the cows have been, and they are just loving life out here. They've got their electric around them for protection from predators, and so far this is working really well. Now this setup, we've got about 80 of those black birds. This setup is only going to last for so long for them, and we're going to need a place to keep them over the winter time. So here comes our next little project. We bought this old trailer for a few $100s to make this into a mobile coop that we can pull around and pasture raise them out here, and then they will free range. Now I said those Cornish cross are mostly accounted for from a family member that we're selling to. So in true chicken math fashion, we have another 100 coming next week for our own family, and then a few more to sell. We are doing all of our own butchering now. We used to use Mekong meats, but we now have our own equipment here. This is a trailer load that just came from the other house, so that's why it's out in the yard yet. But basically, we're going to be doing all of our own butchering of our birds, and you are always welcome, if you are local, to come learn how to do it, to use our equipment, to see how it is done, and to get some recommendations from us. We've been doing this for a lot of years, and we really want to get people started in this. So we are always here to help. So feel free to reach out, and we would love to show you the ropes on this. Little Missy's getting antsy back there, so I'm going to wrap this up. But if you have any questions about chickens, chicken keeping, I've got tons of resources on my blog, and I'm also always here to answer questions. So go ahead and leave them in the comments, or find us on Instagram, Facebook, and let us know what we can help you with. Thank you for being here. Thank you for following along. Make sure you subscribe. And like I said, we are on Facebook and Instagram and always available to answer questions, so give us a follow. Bye!